All right, so let's go into our plan of attack. So today we're going to go into creating videos that actually turn viewers into calls. So essentially, we're looking at video topics that will actually provide results for your real estate business. Now, we're going to be heavily focused on YouTube. We're going to probably talk a little bit about social media as a whole, but what's more important for me today is that we go into the video topics that are going to work for your real estate business from the YouTube front. So that being said, we last week we went into the three types of videos that will attract clients 24/7. So I shared with you the framework on how to launch your YouTube channel successfully. So we went into the videos to create for your workflow, can save you time, videos to create to convert leads. So essentially taking those people that are real estate curious, getting them over that hump into actual giving you a call. And then we went into viral topics, viral videos that will gain you reach. So we talked about workflow videos, converting videos, and viral videos in our session last week. So today we're going to expand upon that, but we're going to get into more of the videos that are going to turn those views into calls, into people that will actually do business with you. At the end of the day, this is not necessarily a hobby. This is something that's going to help with your business and help your business grow. That is what we're focused on today. So we're going to go into the problem solution framework, and I'm going to give you topics that are going to help you with that as well, along with giving you different frameworks that you'll be able to adapt in any one of the markets that you happen to work in. It's also going to give you the information, or it's going to give you the exact framework that you can use in any one of the real estate niches that you're in. So it doesn't matter the market, doesn't matter the niche, doesn't matter anything like that, you'll be able to deploy it in your business today. So let's get into that. All right, so let's begin from starting with the conversation mindset. So oftentimes, in fact, I just had a strategy call with one of our creator agents this very morning, or somebody that's looking to join creator agents. And there's a lot of conversation about subscribers. There's a lot of conversation about that. But at the end of the day, your goal is not to get likes, not to get views, not to get subscribers. These are amplifiers. This is not the goal of your YouTube channel. It's not the goal of your video. Those are amplifiers to your reach. What's actually important, the metric that you're looking for, is actual conversations for people reaching out to you. This is what you're after. So what you're going to find oftentimes, at least with the channels that are successful, you're going to find a lot of the time that those channels aren't always the ones that are pulling in the insane amount of views. You could find some channels. I've brought him up here in the past, like Zach Schmidt. So here locally in Dallas, where he's had a channel that has consistently produced over 50 transactions every single year for the past 4 years. From so let's say 4 years ago, he had maybe 1,000 subscribers, then he had 2,000, then he had 5,000, now he has 7,000 subscribers. From the outside looking in, you wouldn't assume that channel that I'm referencing. So again, Zach Schmidt, you can find him on YouTube, is able to do this year alone about 75 transactions from his channel. So again, what you're looking for is not the views, not the subscribers, not the likes. These are amplifiers. Now, we would all love a billion views, a billion subscribers, a billion likes, but at the end of the day, that's not necessary. What you're looking for is conversations. At the end of the day, we're humans. We're speaking to humans. That's the market that we're that we're working, the human market, if you will. And that's what, as soon as people feel or realize that you're able to solve their problem, that's when they are going to um, that's when they're going to reach out. So when they see their problem explained and you are the solution, you become the de facto choice. You become the obvious choice, the only choice at that time. From there, it's when they make that first call, or when you have that first session with them, it's not a question of if they're going to work with you, it's a question of when. So they're calling because they've already vetted out everybody else and are ready to get started. They're not calling to see if you're going to be the right person for the job. At the end of the day, viewers are only going to take action when they feel certainty in you, right? So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that psychology that goes into the content that you create, ultimately trying to get people into this into this framework or into this feeling that they can trust you, that they can move forward with you pretty seamlessly. So again, just have more of a conversation mindset. Let's not focus as much on views, subscribers, and likes. We'd all love a billion more. We'd all love a ton of that. At the end of the day, that's not necessary for what we're talking about. So let's go into the problem solution CTA framework. So this is if this is the first time that you're hopping on one of these sessions, you're gonna quickly find out that I'm a very big framework person. So I love frameworks. That makes it easier for me to understand, makes it easier for me to take action, makes it easier just in general to see results. So this is one of the structures, one of the frameworks that I'm going to share with you. And at the end, you're going to see about five different versions of this, so you can quickly adapt it into your real estate market, into your real estate niche. It works in every single industry. But right now, I want to show you the problem solution CTA structure. That's the one that is really giving you the lowest, views per lead ratio, meaning takes a certain amount of views in order to get a lead. We have some videos out there that are as little as 400 views to get a lead, but we also have some that take over 10,000 views to get a lead. Not all views are the same. So once again, it goes and really highlights and illustrates this point right here. All right. So with that being said, what we have to identify, what we have to move forward with right now is identify one high intent problem. So the important part here is high intent, meaning there are two decision points for a viewer that you are recording content for. So there's two decision points. Number one is, am I going to buy? Am I going to sell? That's a decision point. Am I going to buy? Am I going to sell? Right? Same thing that is the same thought process or the same decision that you yourself have whenever you're considering buy or sell, right? So the decision is number one. The second decision point for your viewers is who they're going to reach out to, right? So once they decide, yeah, I want to buy in Orlando for whatever reason, that we're going to go and buy in Orlando. Well, at that point, it becomes a question of who am I going to reach out to in Orlando to help me purchase? So there's two decision points. When I'm referencing high intent, I mean people that are at those decision points, that are ready to that are at the final stages of deciding is now the right time to buy, or at the final stages of deciding which real estate agents they're going to work with. That is high intent. The more high intent videos that you make, the more leads that you're going to get from your YouTube channel. So examples of high intent would be, should I buy now or wait? Right? Should I buy now? A version of this that's going to work extremely well for y'all right now, especially as we get into 2026, is, should I buy a home in 2026? Is now the right time to buy in 2026, right? So should I buy now or should I wait? That's a high intent problem to solve. So you're providing the problem, or you're highlighting the problem, and then you're sharing the solution. How to avoid losing money when selling, right? So how to avoid losing money when you are gonna sell your home. That's a high intent problem. That's a high intent topic that you record content around. What's the best neighborhood for families under 500,000? So these are people that are looking for, these are families that are looking for the best neighborhood and have $500,000 to work with. So they have at least some parameters in place. They're not starting from scratch. That is a high intent problem. Is this making sense so far? There's a bit more to this, of course, but I want to make sure that we're in the right understanding here. I want to make sure that we that this is landing.
Yes, definitely. This is the starting point, and I really appreciate that, tapping that. Yeah,
Appreciate you.
really good.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Breaking down the solution clearly. Here's where I personally get in trouble. I'll raise my hand as high as possible. When we're presenting the solution, oftentimes we get into over complex solutions, right? So we get into over complicating really the answer. And at the end of the day, your viewer doesn't care for that. They just don't. Right. So I'll share a bit more of the framework here, but I just wanted to go ahead and plant that seed real quick. So break down the solution. You don't need a ton of points. You don't need to have a master thesis in each one of your videos. You don't need to cover every single point, every single line item. Some of you, that might be your nature. That is my nature. I tend to just go off the rails and start getting to every single granular nook and cranny. And that's just not necessary. Sharing something simple, the person that shares it the simplest is going to win. Now, buyer seller language, not realtor jargon. So if we start using terms like CMA, if we start using contingencies, if we start using words that are us normal humans prior to getting into the industry had no earthly idea what they meant, we are in trouble. The moment that there's friction, the moment that somebody feels confused, the moment that somebody feels lost, the moment that somebody feels less than, they are going to get off of your video, right? So if you confuse somebody with the term, all right, well, I'm confused, I'm lost, I'm not going to watch the rest of the video. If you made a topic so complex that nobody can understand, I'm bored. I don't like feeling dumb. This creator just like is speaking a different language than me. I'm not going to continue on this path. Keep it simple and with clarity, not to overwhelm. One of the most important things that I can illustrate here is with your solution, as long as you're making it simple, easy to understand, you have a higher likelihood of it actually leading to your target audience or landing to your target audience. Now, as far as the CTA, this is something that we as real estate agents need to get a lot better at. We have a general sense of identifying problems, right? We have a general sense of of knowing what pitfalls somebody that is buying or selling is going to have. We do a really good job of the solutions. We share how we can help. We share how to avoid the pitfalls. We share we're good about that. But oftentimes what we forget to do is do the ask. This is the call to action. So this is what we want the next step to be. Right. So let's not assume that when we are creating a video that the viewer knows to reach out to. Let's not assume that the viewer knows what that next step is. If we're assuming, we're losing at the end of the day, right? So you've done the hard work, you've identified a problem, you've created a high intent problem to record a video around, you've provided a really simple, easy to understand, easy to adopt solution. Now is your time to convert that into an actual client, into an actual conversation, and that's through a CTA. And here's some examples of effective CTAs. If you want my home buyer checklist, email me the word checklist, right? So if we're talking about how to buy how to buy now or wait, one of your calls to action could be offering a checklist for somebody that's considering buying. That is so valuable for them. And by you introducing the important points for them to cover as they're purchasing, you earn the right to offer them a simple, again, it's just a simple checklist, a simple lead magnet that they can give you their contact information for, right? And this is something you can whip up from ChatGPT pretty effectively. Not a ton of work is going to go into that. If you're selling in the next 90 days, text me sell for my seller net sheet. I'm sorry, you put too many comments. Sell for my seller net sheet, right? So I like when people text because why? Well, now I have their real phone number. They can't give me a fake one if they're going to text me, right? People can have burner emails all day long, but when it comes to texting, that's a little bit harder. So this is a little cheat code for those of you that are struggling to get real information from leads. Asking people to text you, that's a little hack right there. So if you're selling in the next 90 days, text me sell for my seller net sheet. So a seller net sheet becomes your lead magnet, something that you're offering a value for somebody to give you their contact information. If you want a list of custom homes, comment list down below. Right. So these are very simple. It's very natural, not salesy. This is very organic to the topics that you're covering. Right. So if you're highlighting the best neighborhoods and families for under $500,000, if you want that custom list of homes, hey, just comment list down below and I'll make sure that I send it out to you. It's this type of content that's going to start generating clients for you. It's this type of content that's going to actually generate leads for your business, right? So oftentimes we get into the viral mode trying to hit viral videos out of the park all day long. But even when we do, we struggle to convert a lead off of that. There's a different type of viewer. Not all views are the same. And when you focus more on conversion, when you focus more on this type of framework, you will get leads. questions, comments, concerns before we go on to the next point? I just want to make sure that we're in the same ballpark, at least from the framework. I'm going to give you different examples to go off of that you can easily record on right now.
Just to support what you're saying, Jaime, I had a video I did of a home tour that got over 17,000 views and not a single lead. But the ones that get me the most clients are the ones that I get like 300-400 views from, the
A
lower
hundred
priced homes.
percent. 100%. The type of videos that you make matter, right? So remember our framework. It's so essentially our success formula for YouTube is five things. Number one is topic selection, which is what Robert's alluding to right there. Super powerful, right? So the topic selection, the videos that you make matter. Two, traffic, is there demand? So if I'm making a video um that is so niche that only two people are going to care about it, you and a cousin, it's not going to be a good video. So you need to understand traffic. Is there demand for the topic that you're about to record? Three, what does my thumbnail need to look like? Can I stop people from scrolling on YouTube? Number four, title. Can I title this video in an SEO friendly way so YouTube, Google, and the large language models pick it up? Or can I title this video in such a way so as to create curiosity? And then number five is the first 30 seconds on your YouTube video. So if we can keep people 70% or more on in the first 30 seconds of our video, we have an instant winner. So again, those are the five pieces of success on YouTube. Topic, traffic, thumbnail, title, 30 seconds. If you get those five things right, 95% of the work on YouTube is done. The rest of the 5% it's just in between the weeds. It's a little bit more nuanced. High intent topics, high conversion. Focus on topics where people are already deciding whether to buy or to hire someone. So this again, it goes back to our decision point. We talked about there being two decision points on YouTube. One, am I going to buy? Am I going to sell? That's one. Decision point number two, who am I going to work with? This is the decision point number two. Who am I going to work with at this point, right? So when somebody types in top real estate agent in Milwaukee as an example, Lord Vang better come up, right? At the end of the day, that's what the type of presence, that's the type of yeah, that's the type of presence that we're looking for. So buyer high intent topics. Should you buy now or should you wait? Right? You're not making a claim that you have to buy today. That is, you're giving away the ending there, right? So that's something that you're putting a bit more nuance to that topic, but you're also targeting those people that are considering buying or selling. So if people are not considering buying at that point, well, they're not going to watch your video because they really don't care, right? So it's not even on my radar. How to buy with low down payment in I don't know, Washington D.C. as an example. How to buy with best neighborhoods under $400,000 in Tempe. And from my understanding, under $400,000 is going to be challenging in Tempe, from what I gather. Odessa's nodding her head because she's in the area. Um, New construction, what builders won't tell you, right? So at this point, this is leading the witness a little bit because at this point, people that are watching this video are at least considering new construction, right? So is this something that you'll for sure want to record around if you're looking for those high intent topics that don't require a million views to leads. So these anywhere from 500 to 1,000 views is gonna be what it takes for you to get a lead from one of these topics, is what the metrics are gonna break down as. From the seller side, just invert it. You're talking to homeowners at that point, how to price your home correctly in this real estate market. This is very high intent, right? So you're thinking about selling a home right now at this point, and you just need to price it correctly. That is what you're answering to. Remember, let's not lose the plot. Problem. These are problems. These are real life problems that people that are looking for your services, that are looking for the buying or the selling need, that these are problems that they have. You are providing solutions and you're providing the CTA. So an easy way for them to take that next step. Repairs you should not make before selling your home. Well, who's this going to speak to? Well, somebody that's looking to repair their home or do some upgrades, that's considering selling their home next, right? So if you provide that guide, that solution, then the very next step that's going to happen is they're going to reach out to you. Yes, it's most targeted. Absolutely, Vanessa. How to prepare your home to sell in 30 days. How cool is that, right? So how to prepare your home to sell in 30 days. This is something that is targeting those people that are considering selling their home and want to really get it up to speed as soon as possible. These attract viewers who are already in that decision window. So it's um, some people call it decision window, some people can call it decision point. So the window is basically the time frame. The point is the inflection point, the day that the time the moment that it actually happens, right? So there's a time where people are gathering information and then they make the decision. Okay, now I want to buy. There's also that time where people are once they make that decision, once again, they are doing the research on who they're going to work with. And at that point, it's going to be only a matter of time before they end up searching for individuals like you to come and buy, help them buy or help them sell. Questions, comments, concerns on any of high intent topics. Anyone have any other versions that they've seen work in their market?
Hello, Ame. I have a quick question. Do you recommend shorts for these topics? Because I'm finding my long form videos, I'm kind of hearing crickets. I use TubeBuddy, I do the title, the thumbnail rights, and everything else. But on the shorts, I get like way more views, but I'm not sure.
Have you gotten business from shorts?
Not really. And I do have my call of action to, either reach out via text, like you say, or my link. I'll have my link on the website and all that. I do get comments and engagements, I would say more than my long form.
Yeah. Shorts are good for exposure, no question about that. Right now, we're just not that heavy on shorts. We do believe in short form video, period. We're just not as heavy on shorts for the YouTube side of things. We just haven't really seen it be effective for real estate channels and and um in actual conversions. We've seen more on the long form be effective. So again, we're big on short form content, mostly on the Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikToks of the world, but not necessarily shorts. It's not something that has proven to be a winner for us um, all that much.
Okay.
So, but to answer to kind of elaborate on the, hearing Quicket's comment with the topic, if you wouldn't mind, are you at a place where you can look at your YouTube channel right now and tell me the last topics that you've recorded on? I want to help out in any way that I can. And I'll also try to find you on YouTube. What's your channel name?
Oh, it's moving to Maryland with Tanika.
And what I want to illustrate here is more about the topic selection being 80% of your success on YouTube. Okay, you're getting good buyer's market in Maryland, housing market. Okay, housing market videos in general, you need about 5,000 views and above to generate a lead. A housing market video, just in general, hidden cost of owning a home, what it costs to own. So since you're targeting a hidden cost of owning a home, what it costs to own. Okay, that's a home buyer video. I like that. Home for sale. Okay, so it looks like that might be a listing video. Do not buy a home in Maryland. 6 reasons not to buy a home. Okay. Best places to live in Maryland. You're targeting buyers. I'm not all that I'm not upset at your topics at all. I think that they're fine. I would say that maybe without having watched the videos, they're a little bit on the shorter side. I don't like to make broad claims like that, but if I'm looking at a pro and cons video, that's about 4 minutes in an area. I don't think that that's enough for time for you to elaborate on. So maybe consider making them a little bit longer as far as titles. Um, I think that they're okay, and the thumbnails could use a little bit more of an improvement.
Yeah, I need help. I think I was gonna hire somebody from Fiverr to go through and just, maybe update them. A couple of them I did hire somebody to manage my YouTube channel. So some of them were theirs, but it's really not a big difference.
Yeah, yeah. Well, without taking too much time on this one, I'll reach out to you and see if there's we can gladly do a audit. It's no cost. It's free for you. We'll break down um banners, thumbnails, titles, topics. We'll break all that down. So I'll make a note to please tell me I press record. Okay, I did press record to send you that audit before the end of the week.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Use short stories to build trust quickly. Here's where here's where we as agents kind of fall into a pit, some more pitfalls. People don't convert, but people don't convert because you're smart. They convert because of proof, that because they can relate, because that they believe that you can help them at the end of the day, right? So with the short stories, this is something that's going to help you with retention. It's going to help you keep people on your content longer. So sometimes we get too talking head. I'm very guilty of it. This is me. I'm each one of the videos that I make is insert story, insert story. So essentially get better at storytelling. That is huge. That in your YouTube channel, as more and more channels start becoming activated every single day. So with that being said, here's what I mean by introducing stories. You're providing social proof, and you're providing really education through somebody else's experience. There's a reason that people write books, right? And the reason that we read books. We read books so we can identify the mistakes others made so we don't make them ourselves. Very much the same thing here, right? So one of the best ways that you can illustrate that you've done this in the past without sounding braggadocious is presenting different stories from your clients, right? A buyer last week asked me, so here's what I told them, type of a deal, right? So a buyer asked me what the option period was, and I realized that I have not done a good job of making that type of content on YouTube. So let's talk about it, right? So just giving different entry points. A seller in Frisco made this mistake. Here's how to fix it, right? So I want to share with you how I want to share with you how uh, a a former client from Frisco made a $200,000 mistake. People are bought into that, right? So you're giving different examples. Clients moving from California always ask blank, blank, and blank, and blank about Texas as an example, right? So introducing different stories, interweaving them into your videos are going to increase your watch time. Now, here's the thing. One of the pushbacks that I get whenever I'm having strategy sessions with our creator agents is, well, I'm brand new. I've only done 2 transactions. At the end of the day, these stories don't have to be yours. There's plenty of agents in your team, in your brokerage, in your market relationships that you can leverage, right? And you don't even have to go into that immediacy. There's plenty of stories on the internet that you can highlight, right? So hey, I just read an article about how by not buying a home in 2022 when the interest rates were at 2%, you missed out on $500,000 worth of wealth. Let's talk about it. I totally made that up. I don't know if that's true, but that's something. As you're introducing the stories, once again, you're getting people bought in, you're keeping people on your videos much longer. Now, once again, do as I say, not as I do. And this is something I really struggle with. I really struggle with. I have notes, notes, and notes, and it's not in my nature to get into that type of storytelling. I'm working on it. I am really, really, really working on it. But at the end of the day, this is something that is going to move your content from good to great. This is that powerful. Using being able to storytell, being able to keep people on your videos through stories is huge. All right, so the 5 converting video formats. So if you want to take a screen grab, or if you just want to copy and paste this, actually, I need to give y'all the link to this. I forgot. If you just click on that link and then save it or bookmark it, you should be good to go. I'm dropping it in the chat right now. Well, we talked about formats, we talked about frameworks, we talked about structure of videos, and this is it. So if we're looking at 5 converting, again, the key here is converting. I'm not just going to give you some random video formats to work off of. These are converting videos. If I know that we need to get results today, these are the videos that we consider making. Problem solving videos. This is exactly what we just talked about. The problem solve CTA, problem solve CTA. That's the problem solve framework we just talked about. Mistake videos. People are going to do so much more to avoid making a mistake than what they're willing to do it right. So people are gonna, if you made the exact same video and talked about the 3 things to do before you buy as a pro versus the 3 mistakes to avoid when you buy, you are going to get almost a 2-to-1 ratio. More people are going to go to the fear of missing out on type of content than what they would stand to benefit, right? So mistake videos are absolutely crushing it. Decision videos, should you buy new construction or resell? People want to outsource and leverage their thinking to a real estate professional. Now, think of it from your shoes, think of it like from an accountant, right? There's, I don't know, the tax code is what, over 1,000 pages? Who knows? It's impossible to figure out. Well, at that point, that's where you gladly pay somebody $1,000 to do your taxes, so you don't have to think about that. So, hey, just tell me the answer. Can I buy this house? Can I buy this car, or can I not? I just need to know if this is going to qualify for that tax exemption. Hey, could you just let me know if I buy this house, what type of depreciation can I expect? Hey, just tell me what cost segregation is. Like, what's cost seg? I get it all the time. Just give me the answer. That's what our viewers are expecting from us. So, right, the decision. They're looking to outsource their thinking. And that's why you're making these videos. Comparison videos. The people that are in the analytical brain, these are good. They're gonna eat these up. And if you can provide a little simple, something as simple as a checklist, something as simple as an Excel sheet that runs a few numbers here or there, is gold for these individuals. The analytical people, I've brought this up several different times. Peter, who ended up buying with us last year, he has referred us to this date, I believe, 7 transactions, and he came from a seller net sheet. He didn't even own a home. He was just trying to figure out what the how much he could expect to sell his house that he didn't own in the future. And he downloaded the guide. It was a simple opt-in, called him, connected with him. He connected us to his sister and his brother-in-law. Then they ended up purchasing. Now they're selling, so we're helping them as well. Then Peter also connected us to Cam and Haley. Then Cam and Haley went over and connected us with Sophie and Dane. Then Sophie and Dane it just went on and on and on. And this just happened like within a matter of about 12 months, 12 to 13 months. It was from a comparison video. Right? So there's just countless examples like that. Price point videos, and people don't necessarily know what a $500,000 home looks like in a specific market. So a $500,000 home in Frisco, at least here in Dallas Fort Worth, is radically different than a $500,000 home in Mansfield, right? So you're providing these, in a way, it's a comparison video, but it's these price point videos makes it really real estate related, so people can actually visualize what's happening. Questions, comments, concerns about the 5 video formats? I know I kind of I try to bring in some different examples so as to land the point, but I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Any questions over the entire topic today? Because we did good. We're about 10 minutes early or 5 minutes early, so we have time for questions if there are any. Can we get the notes? Yeah, so if you just click on the link above, Jeffrey, that'll allow you to check out the notes. All's good, all's good.
Hey, Jaime, I have a question.
Yeah.
What about we're seeing more and more where people are putting QR codes on their videos? What's your thoughts around that?
I like that. So we talked about CTA, probably not on this on the summit, so I'll be honest, it's probably on the YouTube mastermind. We had here recently, last month, Manny, after we did our session about CTAs and we talked about QR codes, he introduced it into it must have been more than a month. It must have been 6 weeks ago. He introduced it into just 2 of his videos that he had produced at that time. And ever since then, it's been a weekly lead from those videos. So essentially what Odessa is alluding to is there are QR codes, you know what they are. those QR codes can be embedded in your video. So what we're doing with most of the channels, and we're starting to integrate that. It really revolves around having a landing page first. But that QR code is something that we put on the screen, given that a lot of the audience is watching the content on TV now, right? So in order to have an effective call to action, you can't have a bit.ly link, bit.ly 123-12. That doesn't work. That just doesn't, that is going to do nothing for nobody. There's two effective ways to get a QR code in that respect. It's either have a memorable domain, memorable name, if you will, homes for sale in Tempe.com type of a deal, right? The smart Houston buyer, whatever you want to call, like a memorable domain. That is an effective way to direct people into a landing page or have that QR code. Those are the two ways to do that on your videos. So absolutely, I champion that.
What do you think? Are people using like just one QR code that's a landing page that's a contact me? Or because I guess where I'm struggling is I create something and then I change my mind and now I'm like, well, I feel stuck or I feel tied to a specific subscription that I'm not really using, but I'm afraid to let go of, that type of thing. So do you think like
Yeah.
where is the best landing page for that QR code and what should it entail?
Well, for one, it's going to be an asset that you control, because that
Right.
once it's baked in, is baked in. Once it's in that video, it's in that video. You either have to crop it out or that's it. Like there's really no answer to that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
make sure
it's
that you have
forever.
an asset that you control. So here I would actually do a twofer. I would actually have a QR code that redirects over to my branded website. And then I can redirect that branded website wherever I want. Right. So if I ended up, if I have a QR code that points over to, always make sure to point to JaimeResendiz.com. Well, I know that I'm never going to let go of that brand domain. And then at that point, I can redirect it over to a KB Core landing page if I want. I can redirect it
Mm.
over here. Now, the thing is, if you overdo it, if you like, I'll admit we overdid it with our landing pages. We didn't brand them with big QR codes or anything, but we have a QR code for over 90 cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex times 4. Meaning we had 4 different types of videos that we put out into the marketplace of 90 different cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So we have 360 landing pages that all are prone to have a mistake somewhere. There's no way that all 360 work. So that we shot ourselves in the foot there. But I mean, we're still generating business. I mean, don't mishear me. However, if I could rewrite history there, I would consolidate and make one more universal offer. Great question. So next week, we're going to talk about the process to create authority building videos. This is going to be a fun one. Going to show you how to create the, not just to create the framework, but go through and show you how to get into these videos that are specific to your market. They want to go December 23rd, so Tuesday before Christmas, we're going to get into the viral videos. And then the 30th, before ringing in the new year, we're going to go into building out our 2026 lead generation video strategy. So it's going to be a kind of like a business development type of a setup, but more for content creation and your channel. Alrighty, crew. I think that is it, unless there's any final thoughts. But outside of that, I appreciate you for coming through. Sorry for all the background noise. We'll try better next week. Outside of that, see you next week.